So I'm going to take you all back 30 years. So 30 years ago, I lost the whole left side of my body 5 weeks after I had my daughter, and I had a 2-year-old son. And the doctors put me in the hospital. He said I had inflammation in my central nervous system. So all my friends were worried and all, and I said, oh, it's going to be okay. It'll be fine. He's going to put me on some drug and then it's all going to be good. Well, he then tells me that I had something called multiple sclerosis. I had never heard of multiple sclerosis before in my life. So I had my mother-in-law crying because she had just lost a friend to it. I had my best friend crying because she had lost an uncle to it, to this disease that was in my body. Well, they call it a disease. So I decided after leaving the hospital, they put me on prednisone, and it was freaking me out that I did not want to go the medical route, even though my mom was like a hypochondriac growing up. I don't know what made me decide that I did not want to take that path. It was the prednisone was making me all dizzy in my head. And I had a 5-week-old and a 2-year-old I had to raise. So the doctor said, well, if you don't do these medicines, your MS, you have one of the worst forms of MS, and I would guarantee you will be in a wheelchair being spoon-fed within 3 years if you do not follow our protocol. And I said, no, I will not. I'm not raising my 2 children in a wheelchair. So I then searched out other things. So I did other, I call it Eastern medicine or naturopathic medicine, where I did a lot with a low-fat diet. I went from a size 13 after having my daughter down to a size 4 following that. And then the MS, it cleared up. I took some supplements and it went away. And this was about 4 months later. My whole left side came back. Everything was fine. Then 7 months later, I was going out. I ran a childcare center, and we all would get together once a week and go out and have a couple of appetizers and a few beers. And I all of a sudden woke up one morning and I couldn't walk. So I said, oh, this thing called multiple sclerosis is real. Like, it really is in my body. So I then heard about a treatment called apitherapy, which is using honeybee venom to, because the venom of a honeybee is one of the strongest anti-inflammatories there is. So I started stinging myself with honeybees. I did that for 28 years until, the bees, they're becoming extinct. So I felt really bad using them. I would use 8 to 12 at a session 3 times a week. And so I put my own MS into a dormant state. And I was able to run my childcare center for many years and raise my 2 children. So fast forwarding to 28 years ago, so 2 years ago, 4 years ago, my son took ill and he started losing his vision. Well, since they said it was a rare disease, but since then we did find out that it is also multiple sclerosis. So he's losing his vision. Yes. So one day I was at Mass General 2 years ago. They told me that they didn't know how much time like he would have, because they thought he had this one disease called leukodystrophy. Well, 18 months ago, we're at the Mass General, and they confirmed that it was multiple sclerosis, but he was losing his vision and that he probably would go blind. So when I got home, when I was at the hospital, it just so happens my phone rings and it's Linda. Well, she didn't call me, she texted me. And she said, Maureen, you're not gonna believe what I found. Something just landed in my lap. And remember, you told me years ago you would do stem cell therapy if your MS ever got real bad. And so I text back, yes, I did say that. She said, well, you're not gonna believe what just landed in my lap. And I said, well, you're not going to believe the news I just heard about my son. I'm a total mess. I was trying not to cry. You know, I'm in the doctor's office with my son, and who was 32, 30 at the time. And anyways, Linda agrees to meet me as I'm coming out of Boston, because I live on Cape Cod. She agrees to meet me at a Starbucks, and she gives me 5 patches. And she said, put one on in the morning. You wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, put it right behind, you know, your neck at this spot. Well, I went home. I had my 5-year-old granddaughter with me, and I couldn't talk. I just wanted to cry. I just didn't know what to do. What were we going to do for my son? So I started feeling bad. I was getting really depressed in my body. I started feeling pins and needles in different parts of my body, knowing that stress will trigger an MS attack. So when I went to bed that night, and I woke up, and I just couldn't stop crying. And I saw the little envelope from Linda, and I said, you know what? I promised her I'd put this on in the morning, and I'm going to. I put it on. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I went back into bed, and I was snuggling my little granddaughter, when all of a sudden I said, what am I doing? About 20 minutes later, I'm like, why am I in bed? Why am I having this pity party? I just put my MS dormant for the last 28 years when they told me I'd be in a wheelchair within 3 years. So we got this. And I don't know what this thing is on my neck, but I felt so good. I just had all this energy, and I had the determination that this was going to be okay. And then she gave me 5 patches over the next couple of days. I noticed like my fatigue had went away. My pins and needles in my body had left. I had so much energy. My mood had totally changed to, we got this, we can handle this, from, you know, what am I going to do and how are we going to get through this? So I remember calling up Linda, and I said, I need these. I gotta have these, and I want to put my son on them as well, and see if we can, you know, help with the vision. And he was extremely depressed as well. He was walking with a cane. So now, 18 months later, I walk the canal every morning, about 3 to 5 miles, and my son is now walking without his cane, and he's puts a patch on every day. So, you know, I don't know if you have any questions, but I just love the non-transdermal patches, and I have such an amazing story that I can share out with people, that I have been helping numerous people and getting them on the patches, and helping them to become.
And so my only question is, it's been 18 months on X39. Is that the only patch that you and him wear?
I just started him on the carnosine because listening to Dr. Stacy about a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, I should get him on this one as well. But he has also tried the Eon. I myself use all of them. Can you see Elvita?
I could see Elvita on the chin. And so,
Yeah,
so for him, it's been 18 months.
He's been more like 15 months.
Huh?
He's been more like 15 months, but
15
I've
months.
noticed he's able to sit down and watch, you know, a full movie, you know. He's not wearing his patch as much because he has 20/20 vision in each eye, but because of the in his front lobal area is where the myelin sheets are deteriorating.
Yes.
Due to the MS. So that's why when he has his eyes together, can't focus. This one is lazy.
Got it.
And everything's a blur. But he's not wearing the patch as much, you know.
He's not wearing the eye patch as much. Is that what you mean? He's not wearing. Yes. Is that what you mean by not wearing the patch? So
yeah,
it's not.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I just wanted to understand the patch. So he's wearing the X39 and carnosine. He's not wearing the eye patch as much. And what about for you? I mean, how have you? I mean, you're walking 3 to 5 miles a day. So well, you're not in a wheelchair. You seem to be doing good too.
Right. I haven't stung myself with any of the any of the honeybees in, since I started the patches.
Oh, wait, stop this.
No, I
You
have not had to
haven't
use.
stung yourself with honeybees for 18 months.
Right, right. I have not had to, because of
Wow.
the patches, yeah.
So you're
And I
saving,
use the Eon as well. I use the Eon because, in the glutathione. And
Wow.
I just love them all. I listen to Dr. Stacy a lot and David, and it's just, to me, it's amazing how this technology and how David, I'm so grateful for him and all of you for sharing this and to bringing it to so many people that that need this. I'm very against medical and prescription drugs, and I feel that these patches are just a godsend for
Well,
all of us.
more